Hey everybody, what's going on? This is Dr. Jeff C. May, and you are listening to yet another episode of Doctor's Orders, advice you should actually take. And you may be sitting there, you're saying, Dr. Jeff, is this 2 episodes in 1 week? What is happening? Surely you should be out deer hunting, considering the cold front coming in, and that may be true. However, when motivation, when inspiration hits, you got to get to the recording studio and share some things. And interestingly enough, this week I was talking to my kids, and they're like, Dad, how many people are listening to your podcast? And I looked up the stats, and my kids, they come from this generation of YouTube, and everything seems to have 1 million followers. And if you're not as cool as Mr. Beast, then Dad, you're not doing so great. But the funny thing is, as I told them, I go, well, man, there's 15 downloads. So 15 people downloaded it this last week and listened to it, which is awesome. And my one son looked at me and he goes, Dad, 15 like that, that's not gonna cut it. Those aren't Mr. Beast numbers. No, they're not. However, to think that 15 people took time out of their day and are utilizing what we share here on the podcast. So like the title of this one today is Health Begins with Humility. And then the sub question is that why guys suck at it? And why do you think I'm going after guys today? I don't know, because I'm a guy, and I feel I come from a place of authority when speaking in that. And I will tell you, being a chiropractor now for 15 years, this marks 15 years of being able to practice natural health care. I know a thing or two about where health starts, where it comes from, and better ways that people can attain it and achieve it. So that's, if you're a first-time listener, that's what you're getting into. And if you're a long-time listener, thanks for being here. So health begins with humility. What am I talking about? Well, you got to look at where and kind of what humility is. And if you were to give your definition of humility, some people will interject words like, oh, it's thinking of yourself less. And then there's this that makes me think of a definition that I've heard over the time of humility, that humility isn't thinking of yourself less, it's thinking of yourself less often. And I thought that was really good, because thinking of yourself less often will keep you less centered on your ego, the ego, the self-driven focus, all of those different areas. And humility really boils down to realizing that there's a lot of things that you don't know, is coming to the place in your life where you don't know a whole lot. And what are you going to do with that? Well, usually people, when they find themselves in a place where they don't know, they'll seek answers. And hopefully they're asking questions. Hopefully they're asking questions of people that have attained what they want to attain in their own life. For example, if I were to roll back the clock when I was in high school and I wanted to be a chiropractor, about the time when I was a sophomore, I shared the story earlier this week on one of our social media posts about how a horse landed on me. I was riding it, it slipped in the mud, flipped over backwards on me. A short story on that. And that's what sent me to the chiropractor the first time. And I thought, man, if I could learn what this chiropractor just did for me, I could help so many people. He didn't need a team of doctors or nurses, and there wasn't a whole lot of equipment. It was really, really raw and organic, and I loved it. And I felt better. Like, how could a horse land on me? And I go to a chiropractor, because there weren't any bleeding, none of that stuff. I went to this chiropractor not being able to move very well, and then I could move. Like, that was amazing to me. It was like a ninja. So from that point on, I decided that's what I wanted to do. And inevitably, say at that point when I said I want to be a chiropractor, I started going to podiatrists. Let's just throw that one out there. Like, I started going and asking podiatrists what it's like, if I should be a chiropractor. And what's the podiatrist going to say? The podiatrist is going to be like, well, I'm a doctor of the feet. So I'm not sure why you're asking me. Like, that would not be a good place to go for answers. Now, at that point in my life, I didn't know a whole lot about chiropractic. I didn't know that the intricate messaging system through the nerve system, the spinal cord, the peripheral nerves, the nerves coming off your spine, going to your body, this feedback mechanism that literally keeps you alive every single second of the day. And the beauty that when you can influence that system in a positive way, that you get positive healthcare outcomes. Like that in and of itself is an amazing, beautiful thing. And I didn't realize it way back then, but I knew that I wanted to help people. And that was enough for me to start asking questions and humble myself and to say, hey, I'm just a kid in high school and I think this would be cool. And I started asking questions of people that had attained that. So the guy who originally gave me my first chiropractic adjustment in O'Neill, Minnesota. Shout out to Dr. Sitz. And he kind of, unbeknownst to him, started me off on this journey. And so that's what I was going to do. So why am I sharing you this story? Why am I telling you this? Well, for a few reasons. Is because there's a lot of times where people come into the office, and it's so cool to see when people, like a new patient walks into the office. One, my team's going to give them an amazing experience. Whether you've been here for the first time or you've been here 10 years, 15 years, whatever it has been. And we have people that have been here the entire time. They're going to get an amazing experience. And it's so cool because me looking at that, it's like, okay, they took time out of their day. They made a phone call and they're coming to the office. They have humbled themselves and said, hey, I got a problem that I don't know how to fix, but I would really appreciate some help. And that's the first step in getting healthier. We look at every healthcare journey that anybody's ever been on, and it starts with that moment when you're like, man, I need help. I need help. And now you can start to see why I put the second question on it is this why men suck at it? Now, typically, not necessarily in my office. In fact, I was talking with a patient about it the other day. You'll see a demographic of people in an office. It'll be a majority of females. Why is that? Because females usually are more health conscious. They take action. They're the caretakers of the family, so they'll be bringing the kids into the chiropractor. And you'll see generally more females than males. Now, you come to my office, and there's pretty much down the middle split, 50-50. And we're talking lots of farmers, lots of construction workers, lots of people that here in the next couple months will be laid off through the winter, the construction guys, the road guys, really, really hard manual labor people. And they not only come to our office for pain relief, but they also stay for wellness. They stay for tune-ups, the oil changes, the things that help them get through week in, week out of doing what they do to provide for their families and all of the above. So I think one of the biggest things is that when those guys come in, we talk about, hey, where do you see yourself in a year if this doesn't get corrected? Because men, we don't like to think about that. We don't like to think about, what could happen, what might happen. I just want the pain gone. I'll take whatever I need to. I'll rub some dirt on it and I'll get back in the game. And that's usually the mentality. And so in this episode, I want you to start realizing that for no matter what area of your life, it doesn't even have to be your health. I obviously put health begins with humility because that's what I do. Like that's a bulk of my career is helping people become healthier, happier, and more productive. And so when you look at it, it has to start with you humbling yourself enough to say, hey, I'm not sure, I don't know. I'm going to start to seek out information. And that's also why we've expanded the team. We've got a nurse. We've got Dr. Tyler, another chiropractor. We've got Emily. We've got Tamara. We've got Shelly. All of them have their expertise in helping people achieve different goals in different areas of their health and their life. And so knowing that I don't have to wake up and be the end all say all in my office, it's like, hey, we have a team. And so when you come in through here, you're not getting just one doctor, you're getting two doctors, and then you're getting a nurse, and you're getting a team that really, really cares about you hitting your goals and your targets. And so that's the fun part for me. And ultimately helping people say, hey, let's ask some really, really good questions. Let's get some really clear targets and let's start something. Let's do something. Do something about it together because you're not in this alone anymore. So my question to you today in this episode is, where in your life do you know you need to say, I don't know, and start asking for help? So where in your life, could be across your body being balance or your business. Yes, that's the core for it. So your body being your fitness, your being your relationship with God, your balance being your relationship with your spouse, your family, your friends, or your business, which is your business. Where do you need to just say, I don't know, that I don't know, and who do you need to ask for help? Those, you guys, are some really, really important questions that are going to produce massive fruit and massive value in your life if you take the time to answer those. So thanks for listening as always, you guys. And those for today are your doctor's orders.